Coffee and a sandwich, guys, and then we're going to pop into town. I'll talk on the way back, but I'm taking my son in with me, so catch up there. Yes, I've even been known to work on a Sunday, guys. That's another happy customer. It wasn't particularly much. It was just basically. I mean, I wouldn't say she was senior, but she's a little older than me. Well, she's probably nearer 60, something like that. But yeah, all she needed was she'd broken an old fly mow. She'd hit a tree stump with it, and of course by the time you bought the parts you may as well just buy a new fly mow. You know, they're only a cheap electric mower, aren't they? And she just wanted it building up out of the box. So yeah, I've just been around and done that. It only took me about half an hour, I think. Maybe something like that. Not long anyway. You know, just take it easy, put it together carefully so that you don't get anything wrong. Not that you really should get much wrong with them, they are pretty straightforward. But yes, reasonable day today, a bit cloudy at the minute. There is the odd bit of blue sky showing in there. So, been a busy week, guys. Been backwards and forwards between a lot of different jobs and what have you. And I've just picked up a job of my own that I'm going to be doing in a couple of weeks' time, which is a fair size. It's a refit on the heating in a house in Wilberforce, which is actually quite a drive from here. It's what is it? It takes about 40 minutes to get there, something like that. 45 minutes. It's, you know, it's quite well out of area, but they pick me up off Facebook and what have you. And not the way, it's the wife that deals with all that side of things, and yeah, they gave me the job, so that'll be a busy one for me in a couple of weeks or so. Monday the 14th, I think I booked it in for. So yeah, everything's going okay at the minute. Just trying to think, there was something I wanted to say actually, I can't remember what it was. I don't know, there's something in particular that was on my mind then, and then it just gone. Nothing new there with my head, I tell you. That much on my mind at the minute, and I'm sort of trying at the minute to sort of keep on top of the paperwork as and when it happens. So, you know, come home, and if I've got anything to, like, you know, purchase notes or anything like that to file, check my post, if there's any invoices to file, write up any invoices myself if I have to, that sort of thing. I'm just trying to do it as and when it comes, so that I'm not sitting doing, you know, 50 invoices and filing all my stuff on a weekend. It would just, that would do my head in for sure. So yeah, I've got some knockings on the car. It's due its MOT in a couple of weeks actually, so I'm going to have to try and get it done. I need to get it sort of booked in and looked at least, either this week coming or the week after, and see what it's going to cost me to get it MOT'd. I think I've got like knocking ball joints at the front and what have you. I mean, you know, if money wasn't a problem, you know, if it wasn't an obstacle for it, I'd just change it. But the thing is, it is a handy car. It's, you know, it does two jobs for me easily. You know, it does my home sort of stuff with the wife and that, and her wheelchairs, and at the same time it's great for work as well. I mean, I've actually, I don't know if you can see it, it might show up in the frame actually, I've actually got a 3 metre length of copper pipe fed through at the minute from the back. Normally I feed them through just off camera actually, so they run straight through down that side of the car, but because I've had my son in, so I had to tuck it down there so they could get in. But yeah, I bought that for a job yesterday actually. I was working yesterday, Saturday, and what I was supposed to be doing was fitting an outside tap. Now, I was just told we need a new outside tap. When I got there, it turns out he hadn't told me he already has a tap. And the problem was he's not a very DIY person, this guy. You know, I mean, it's just him, you know, he's just not into that sort of thing. You know, he goes to work, works long hours, comes home and doesn't want to be doing stuff. And all it was it was the way he'd been using the outside tap. He'd had one of, you know, those rubber connectors that are built to go on a kitchen tap and you tighten up the thumb screw. We had one of them, but straight onto the piece that comes out of the outside tap, you know, the screw on part. He'd had it straight onto that. So of course, whenever he's let go of the trigger on his pressure washer, the hose was just blowing off because it wouldn't hold the pressure like that. So basically, I sorted out the gland washer because there was a small leak on the tap, because of course it went in when the house was built. And then I just reworked all his fittings. I got some more plastic fittings off them. They had some more kicking around, and I just put it all together. Is that a mark on the... Yeah, I think I've got a smear on the lens. Sorry about that, guys. So I just rejigged all the fittings on the short hose that connected to his hose reel and what have you, and that was it. It was all sorted for them. So I just, you know, so yeah, obviously there's going to be some around that would have said, well, you've already bought the parts to fit them. But I don't see the point. That just to me seems like ripping people off, you know. So I was only there sort of half an hour or something like that, and it was only in the town, so it's not like it was any major skin off my nose. So I just repaired what they had and sorted them out. Best way for it, in my opinion. And it, you know, it gets you a better name. Of course, when you run your own company, then your name is everything. So yeah, I didn't have to cook today. It was quick and simple. My son did it actually. We just decided on something quick and light, so I got in some wraps and some chicken and some bacon and mayonnaise and stuff like that. We've had wraps. Chicken, crispy bacon, mayonnaise and bits of salad and what have you, so yeah, it's all gone down quite nicely really. I'm not sure what happened to the butcher this week. I've missed him the last couple of weeks, but apparently there was a note put through that he wasn't not going to be around. I don't know if it was just this week or a couple of them, so, but I've been out and about anyway, so I've missed him, but I'm assuming I'll catch up with him at some point. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on tomorrow yet, because this plumber that I work with sometimes, he tends to have Mondays off to be with his wife sometimes, so I'm not sure if I'll be working tomorrow or not. I know he wants me Tuesday. We're going back to a house that we've been working on. We've been working on a heating system that the front upstairs of the house has been failing for years. We got to the bottom of it. It turns out that the whole section off the landing that runs to the front of the house is just sludged up with rust and decaying debris and what have you. So we've flushed it all out, and we've got the radiators back on up there, new radiators, and then there's still a couple of new ones to fit downstairs, which a bit annoying because it's good. Well, not annoying, it's just going to be awkward. It's going to be quite a difficult sort of pain in the arse. It's got to be very accurate because it's concrete floors, the pipes come up through the floors, so you've got to get those radiators bang on the right sort of height, and also there's some variation in the tails. What it was when we first went there, we measured the radiators up, and there's one of them in particular that's a really oddball size. It's something like 1770. Very strange. So it's probably just a one-off manufacturer that does that particular size or whatever.
So we've obviously gone for the next size down from it, but it meant that we have to have the extended tails and cut them to length to fit and everything. But because the pipe's old, we really don't want to be and coated in paint. We don't really want to be sort of cutting it, making it longer, you know, cutting it down, anything like that. We'd rather just get it straight on. So we're going to have to be very accurate with marking out for hanging the radiators on the wall in the first place, really. Which had to be fairly accurate upstairs anyway, because there wasn't a lot of play in the pipe work. So, but yeah, that's all there is left to do is those two. And I think there's a couple of valves in the airing cupboard to change. That's about it, I think. And then that house will be all up and running. So, yeah, it's, like I say guys, it's just been pretty busy at the minute, backwards and forwards between a lot of jobs and what have you. You know, it's like, and you're sort of like fitting in small jobs in between, you know, like toilet flushes not working and inlet valves not working, and, you know, some old couple ringing you saying that the toilet seats come off, or you might be replacing an entire toilet, you know, which is not a particularly long job, you know, it's just, you just tend to be all over the place backwards and forwards, you know. Yeah, it's just, can be a bit of a nightmare sometimes, you know. It's, you don't really get time to stop and think. I think that's the thing. There's no time to stop and think. You literally, you've got to force yourself to sort of like keep an eye on the time and say, right, it's, you know, you go, oh wow, it's like 1 o'clock, we haven't had any lunch or something like that. So you've got to force yourself to go and take half an hour or whatever to sort of just switch off and eat. But no, I prefer it that way. Really, it keeps you active, keeps your mind going, and, you know, end of the day, you're just ready for your bed. So yeah, it's just non-stop, and yeah, I am much preferring it that way. Anyway, guys, I am starting to waffle. I'm going to go and get on with some of these reviews as well and what have you. I need to get them wrapped up now. It's getting too long in the tooth, and some of the companies are emailing me back again saying, hey, where's our video? You know, I'm having to apologise and say, look, you know, work's been really busy lately, and YouTube alone cannot make me a living. So anyway, guys, I'm going to check out. So do take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you next week. Cheers, guys. See you.